We moved in 1995. A friend of ours basically loaned us the money when the opportunity came up to pay for the house. Had to completely renovate the place.
We both love flowers, so the whole deck was full of flowers. If we wanted to tell people where our house was, it was just look for the house with all the bright flowers. We heard about Superstorm Sandy coming and knew that we had to evacuate. We kept getting reports, seeing things on TV about how bad it was.
52 inches of water from the outside sidewalk. And as I'm sitting here, my mouth would have been underwater inside the house here.
All you could do was just look around and cry, since this was our home and our appliances and our beautiful hardwood floor and all the work that Jim did from the time we bought the house to make it a nice livable house was just gone.
Well, we didn't move out. We had to work on it while living here. FEMA didn't do anything for us. The REM program came along and told us our flood insurance was going to go up to over $10,000 a year unless we raised the house. And they were going to give us a grant.
It was a very lengthy process to get any money. The flood insurance money started to come in. They finally told us, yes, you're approved for $79,000 in supplemental funding, but only if you can prove that you have the resources of $141,000.
If we had that kind of money, the house would be finished. Of course we don't have it. So they used that, the flood insurance basically, to raise the house. I mean, where do they get off commandeering our flood insurance money and then using that for an excuse to tell us, well, you're out of luck?
And when we finally got the REM approval, Jim just started night and day working on putting the house back together.
They didn't tell us that once the house got so far that the grant would become a reimbursement program. They should have told us that this is not a program for poor people. You have to be affluent or it doesn't get done.
Our contractor told us to move out in June of 2016, that they were ready to elevate it. They had us move out. We had our decks all ripped out, and they didn't start the house until April of 2017. For a while we were paying the mortgage here and the rent on the house that we're living in. There was just so much work to do. So much extra damage was done by the house being exposed.
The pigeons have moved in, made themselves a permanent residence up there. If they throw a little bit of scrap wood down, the pigeons wouldn't have got into the house.
And in the midst of all of this, I was diagnosed with lymphoma. So to be in the house with the mold and everything, I just considered to be such a hazard. Months would go by when we didn't hear anything, any kind of updates on whether we were going to be able to get more funding. All the programs except for Jody's New Jersey Organizing Project had left the area. The mortgage company, even though we had a Sandy forbearance that we only had to pay the insurance and the taxes and not anything on the principal, they tried to foreclose on us. That was a fight.
Until we got the clawback letter. They said that they could get us a low interest loan so we could pay them back.
Yes.
Well, where the hell were they when we needed to find some money to get this house finished? They destroyed us. They destroyed our house and they walked away.
There are thousands of families who are still stuck in the vicious cycle. A clawback is when the state is asking for money back from the grant program. Due to no fault of the homeowners, there's 1,700 families that we know of today. Jim and Kathy Hesselgeiser came to us a few years ago with problems of getting dropped out of the state grant program. Their story and their case was the most challenging one I have ever worked in. They went through contractor fraud. They were pushed around by flood insurance. And then the state grant program finally said, we can't help you after leaving them behind. Once they had contractor fraud, they may never get home. It's very sad that this is going to happen to families again and again unless we fix this system. The broken recovery system is horrendous. And I don't want to see Ida families continue to go through that. If we do not get help from the state and federal government, we will lose communities. You might as well just come in and buy us out now.
People that are recently affected by storms in New Jersey have no concept of what they're going to go through. The level of stress is just unbelievable. And to have to relive it month after month and year after year, and there's people in the public who don't realize that there are still Sandy people who are not home.